Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome, my dear students, to our English period for grade 7, Unit 11, Lesson 5. Our lesson today is about sources of energy. Let's start our lesson, my dear students, with the opener. In our opener, mention the sources of energy. There are many sources of energy. Try to think, my dear students. Think carefully and tell what are the sources of energy. Now look at this picture and try to tell. There are many sources of energy, like solar energy, oil, natural gas, coal, wind, water, etc. Now, my dear students, watch the following video and mention the renewable sources of energy. Watch carefully and try to tell us what are the renewable sources of energy.
Smile and learn.
Renewable energy. We obtain energy from two different sources, renewable energy sources and non-renewable energy sources. Today we're going to learn about renewable energy sources. Renewable energy refers to all those limitless energy sources present in nature. The sun, the wind, the force of water, or the inner heat of the earth are examples of renewable energy sources. These energy sources are present in nature and are naturally replenished. That's why they never run out. These are some of the most well-known renewable energy types. Solar energy comes from the sun and reaches us as light and heat. For example, thanks to these solar panels, we can capture sunlight energy and transform it into thermal energy to heat water in this house. Eolic energy comes from the movement of air or the wind. For example, these windmills transform wind into electric energy. Tidal wave energy comes from the movement of sea waves or when tides change from high to low, and vice versa. Hydraulic energy is produced by the water we store in reservoirs or artificial lakes. Look at this dam! Water falls over from a high spot. Then, it flows through the hydroelectric factory, where the force of the water is transformed into electric energy. Geothermal energy is generated from the heat stored in the earth. This type of energy is used for heating a house or generating electricity, for example. Let's look at some of the main advantages of renewable energies. They are environmentally friendly because they don't emit CO2 or greenhouse effect gases. They are limitless because they are obtained from natural resources that don't run out and replenish naturally. They are safer for our health because they don't generate toxic residues harmful for people. There is no doubt that renewable energies have many advantages, but there are disadvantages as well. Renewable energy resources are not found everywhere in the world. Countries with shorter daylight hours cannot produce as much solar energy as other parts of the world. Obtaining renewable energy can be random or variable because it depends on natural phenomena that we cannot always predict. For example, the amount of rainfall. To reach the world energy objectives and help take care of the environment, it's indispensable to accelerate the transition to renewable energies.
Now, my dear students, after watching the video, what are the renewable sources of energy? What are the sources or the renewable sources of energy? That's right, water, sun, wind. That's right. Excellent. Now, my dear students, let's move to non-renewable sources of energy. Watch this video and tell us what are the non-renewable sources of energy.
Smile and learn.
Non-renewable energy. We obtain energy from two different sources: renewable energy sources and non-renewable energy sources. Today we're going to learn about non-renewable energy sources. Non-renewable energy refers to the limited energy sources on the planet that don't replenish naturally. Coal, oil, natural gas, or nuclear energy are examples of non-renewable energy sources. In nature, there are limited resources of this type of energy. That's why they may run out with use. These are some of the most well-known non-renewable energy sources. Oil is found under the Earth's surface. It's a liquid substance formed by a mixture of hydrocarbons. Oil has a strong smell and dark color. Oil is used to produce fuels like gasoline or gas oil, which we use to power the engines of vehicles. Coal is a rock that is extracted from open-pit underground mines. It's a black substance formed by the fossilization of the dead remains of plants. When coal is burned, it produces heat. Natural gas is extracted from deposits found under the ground. We use natural gas to heat houses. Uranium is a chemical element extracted from underground shafts and mines. We use uranium to produce nuclear energy, which in its turn will later transform into electric energy. Non-renewable energies have disadvantages for the environment. For example, exhaust gases emit contamination gases in the atmosphere, which are harmful for the planet. As for nuclear energy, it is necessary to handle radioactive residues properly. When there's an accident related to non-renewable energy resources and residues, environmental catastrophes of great magnitude may occur, which are crucial for the Earth and all living beings. To reach the world energy objectives and help take care of the environment, it's indispensable to reduce the use of non-renewable energy resources and accelerate the transition towards renewable energies.
Now, my dear students, after watching the last video, who can mention the non-renewable sources of energy? What are the non-renewable sources of energy? That's right. Oil, natural gas, coal. Excellent, that's right. So, my dear students, let's revise what we have studied. Mention the two main sources of energy. As we said, we have renewable sources of energy and non-renewable sources of energy. Let's see. Renewable sources of energy are water, sun, and we call it solar energy, wind power or wind. What about non-renewable sources of energy? That's right, coal, natural gas, and oil. Look at this question, my dear students. What is the main source of energy in Kuwait? Think carefully and try to answer. What is the main source of energy in Kuwait? That's right, it's oil and world power. Now, my dear students, it's time for studying our new vocabulary in our lesson today. Let's study our new vocabulary. There are several sources of energy. There are several sources of energy. Repeat after me. Several. 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 What does it mean? It means some. More than two, but not many. Let's move to the next word. There are two sources of energy, as we said, renewable energy and non-renewable energy. Repeat after me. Renewable, renewable, renewable. We use renewable energy again and again. We can use renewable energy again and again. Solar energy is a renewable source of energy. Repeat after me. Solar, 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 solar. What does it mean, solar? Solar means using the energy from the sun to produce electric power. The next word. Windmills are used to produce electricity or to crush grain. Repeat after me. Windmill, 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 windmill. Look at the picture and try to guess the meaning. A windmill is a building with parts that turn around in the wind. Oil is a non-renewable source of energy because we can't produce more when it is finished. So oil is non-renewable source of energy. Coal is a non-renewable source of energy. Repeat after me. Coal, coal, coal. It's very easy, my dear students. Look at the picture. What can you see? It's coal. What does it mean, coal? It's a hard black substance that is dug from the earth in pieces and can be burned to produce heat or power. Let's move to the next word. Coal deposit is trapped between earth layers. Repeat after me. Deposit, 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 deposit. What does it mean, deposit? A layer that has formed under the ground, especially over a long period. Oil is made of tiny pieces of very old dead animals and plants. Repeat after me. Tiny, 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 tiny. What does it mean? It means extremely small, extremely small. Waterfalls flow powerfully. Waterfalls flow powerfully. Repeat after me. Powerfully, powerfully, powerfully. It means in a powerful way, in a strong way. Now, my dear students, let's revise our new vocabulary in our lesson today. Look at the picture and try to guess what is the word. Look at the first picture here. Yes, that's right. Several, several. Renewable. That's right. Water is a renewable source of energy. Excellent. Coal, coal, coal. That's right. We use coal to produce heat and power. Excellent. Tiny, tiny, tiny. very, very small. Deposit, deposit, deposit. They under the ground. Excellent. We can get it from the sun. Solar, solar, solar. Powerfully, powerfully, powerfully. In a strong way. Windmill, windmill, windmill. That's right. Now, my dear students, let's move to our students book, page 75. Your students book, page 75. Exercise number 1. Look at the pictures. Describe what you can see. Look at the pictures. What you can see here. I think you can see here some sources of energy, some renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. Let's move to exercise number 2, my dear students. In exercise number 2, read the text and answer the following questions. Here, my dear students, we have 3 questions. We want to read this text to answer these 3 questions. Number 1, give one example of the use of each of the sources of energy. Number 2, which of these sources of energy will we use in the future and why? Number 3, what is the main idea of the text? What is the main idea of the text? Now it's time for reading to answer these questions. Take your time, my dear students. Take your time, read carefully, and find the answers for the 3 questions. Take your time, read carefully. Now, let's read or check your answers. Question number 1. Give one example of the use of each of the sources of energy. Who got the answer, my dear students? Let's see. Oil is used for running cars, factories, and machines. That's right. Windmills are used for making electricity, etc. These are just examples. You can add more sources of energy. Number 2. Which of these sources of energy will we use in the future? Why? We'll use the renewable sources of energy in the future. That's right. We can go on using them again and again. Now, my dear students, let's move to question number 3. What is the main idea of the text? What is the main idea of the text? The main idea of the text is the different sources of energy are either renewable or non-renewable. What is the purpose of the text? Who can tell us, my dear students, what is the purpose of the text? I think the purpose of the text to tell us about different sources of energy. Now, my dear students, we came to the closure of our lesson today. Read and think carefully. Do you think that using renewable sources of energy can reduce pollution? And how? Do you think that using renewable sources of energy can reduce pollution, and how? Please, my dear students, write your ideas in your notebook. Thank you, my dear students. Meet you in the next period, inshallah. Best wishes. Thank you and goodbye.